This year's Black Friday shopping could lead to layoffs in the near future. However, it's not because the American people didn't spend, it's because of how we spent our money. And I'll explain that in just a second. But first, let me know if either of these two things sound familiar. One, we saw huge crowds as we went out for Black Friday shopping and throughout the weekend. Or two, the crowds were very thin and barely anybody was shopping because all the sales were coming from online shopping. Now, here's what actually happened this year. Certain parts of the country had higher than expected in-person shoppers. However, there were other parts of this country that actually saw very thin crowds, which means they were all shopping online. Now, according to retail experts this year, they're saying there are two kinds of shoppers. There were those that were paying a little bit more or were willing to pay a little bit more in order to get their items instantly. Those people we call in-person shoppers. And then there were those that wanted the best deal possible and they were willing to wait a few days or potentially a week in order to get their items. Those people were coming from online sales. But this is also where things get very interesting. In certain cities and bigger cities where we see more upward pressure on inflation, this is actually where we saw less in-person shoppers. And that's possibly because these people are worried about inflation. But look at this chart right here. I want to show you this chart because this chart right here shows cities which are still experiencing very high inflation compared to last year. Now, in these cities, we could, again, Phoenix, Mesa, Scottsdale, Arizona, we got Atlanta, we got Tampa, St. Petersburg, Miami, Dallas, Fort Worth, Seattle, Tacoma, right? Bellevue, Detroit, right? All these different cities. What we are seeing right now, and again, this list goes on, but what we are seeing right now is that people are looking to save money. The average consumer is looking to save money, and this is contributing to less in-person spending. And it's not only that, but even this year, Walmart overtook Amazon. People were searching for best deals, the best online deals, and Walmart overtook Amazon. It actually went Walmart, Target, Kohl's, and then Amazon. Amazon was not even the first choice, which means people aren't looking for the most convenient option. They're looking for the best deal. But this is also where the worries truly begin. Because what happens when retail sales take the back seat to online sales? What happens? What do retailers do? Well, this is the scary part. According to retail experts, they are now saying that a very strong online sales quarter and a very weak in-person sales quarter is going to contribute to more layoffs in the near future. And when exactly? Well, the first quarter of 2023. Now, you probably don't need a daily reminder about why additional layoffs are such a bad thing, but I'm going to give you that anyway. When we see layoffs, it contributes to the decline in the velocity of money. And what this means is when person A gets laid off, let's say they work at a restaurant, they get laid off because, well, nobody's spending money at the restaurant, right? Well, then they don't get paid, which means they don't go and shop at the grocery store or the retail store. And when the retail and grocery stores aren't getting the same amount of customers, well, then they start to lay people off. And when the retail worker isn't getting paid and they get laid off, okay, now you got the restaurant worker on unemployment, got the retail worker on unemployment. Guess what happens then? As less and less products are being distributed around the stores, less people are buying those products. Guess what happens then? Then we start to see not just a localized layoff problem, but a bigger, wide-scale problem that will go all across the United States and possibly other countries as well. So even though Black Friday is more of a United States type of thing, it is still going to impact the entire country and the entire world. We are expecting to see an economic downturn here in the United States. Canada is going to experience the same thing, Mexico, and possibly many other countries as well. Now, I want to finish off with this one statement. We are going to see additional layoffs. The expectation has always been we are going to see additional layoffs come 2023. The reason for this is very simple. We knew retailers and businesses were hoping to get through all of 2022 at a very near margin, very near their profit margins were so small, but the expectation was Black Friday, the holiday shopping season, everybody would be willing to spend a little bit of money and splurge. Well, the expectation was that was the case, but now we're getting the reports that no, that is not necessarily true. Yes, some people are still spending money, but it's not the lower income and it's not a lot of the middle income households. It's the upper middle class and the higher tiers. Those are the people that have the money that can spend it. And what does that mean for all of us? Well, it simply means buckle up because the economy is potentially going to get much worse.